Being is becoming through us. The importance of this fact must not escape us. I, absolute being or spirit, make. Man does not have to make, spirit makes. I will work, and who can hinder it? The inner principle of life, plant or planet, animal or man, is forever producing, and it may be called into expression in our lives. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man will open, I will come in. Spirit seeks its worshippers. The creative process is going on in you. Stand still and behold the salvation of your God. What a relief from struggle. You do not need to lie awake at night saying to the heart, beat 72 times a minute, to the lungs, take a breath now, to the blood, go round and round. All this is the involuntary functioning of the life in you, under the direction of the inner mind. So too, we do not need to say, I must make a new cell where this one is worn out. I must make a little more gastric juice to digest this food. Man does not have to create. He merely allows spirit to manifest its innate power to permit being to become through him. The spirit is in you now, ready to do whatever is necessary for your health and supply. You are at one with all being, and within you is the all power ready to act. Then go not thou in search of him, but to thyself repair. Wait thou within the silence dim, and thou shalt find him there. All great healing is done on the basis of this realization that the work is being done for us. We are not forced to hold thoughts, repeat denials, or make affirmations until the brain begins to stagger. To do this is to pass the struggle over from physical to mental gymnastics. If we are to stop beating the body, cracking the bones, boiling in mud, taking electric shocks, only to do our denials, affirm our affirmations, and count the rosary of our formulated phrases, with any idea that we are doing the job, we might as well quit now. Remember Moses. He said, Hear now, ye rebels, shall we bring you forth water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand and smote the rock with his rod twice, and water came forth abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their cattle. And Jehovah said unto Moses and Aaron, Because ye believed not in me, to honour me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. We are entered into truth to find peace, and if we struggle along on the basis that we must do the work, we can never enter the promised land. One woman said, I have discovered I have 7 bodies and I am trying to subdue them, but life is a constant struggle. I subdue them one by one, but by the time I get the 7th put under, the first is all up in arms. Another was asked by her friends to join in some activities, but she said, I have no time for such things. I must go and do my denials and affirmations. I have seen people absolutely bewildered by the effort to heal themselves, by holding the right thought, and I have often heard metaphysicians say, I will work for you, as though there was something they had to do. As a matter of fact, we do not have to struggle. We only have to know. The poet truly said, I am not fighting my fight. I am singing my song. Said Jesus, can a man by taking thought add 1 cubit to his stature? Of course not. neither denials nor affirmations are creative. We should carefully distinguish between the terms creative thought and creative mind. Strictly speaking, thought does not create. Mind creates. The creative function is still going on. Creative mind is building for us. Spirit is passing into manifestation. Being is becoming. We do not have to struggle, but rather do we say to the God within, "Build me more stately mansions, O my soul." What we need to do is to recognize the presence of the spiritually perfect being which we are, and thus allow it to become, which it will do. Thought itself, then, does not create. Creation goes on without our conscious thought, and conscious thought simply acts as a mold to spirit as it passes through. This is why a child's life is normally so healthy and serene. It does not put up any barriers to the flow of pure spirit. It does not interpose fear or doubt. It takes all on faith, and the creative impulse goes on to build its growing body and fill its heart with joy. A friend of mine who was a teacher in one of the grade schools had a lame wrist and felt herself unable to get the right thought about it. So she went to a little 5-year-old boy in the room and said, "John, I hear that you healed Miss So-and-so's finger. Do you think you can heal my wrist?" "Yes, teacher. Let me hold it." So he took the wrist between his little hands and sat silently for a moment. "It'll be all right now," he said, and it was healed immediately. Other cases might be cited in which children have demonstrated the power of unreasoning faith. Amongst some of our acquaintances, the whole family depends on the faith of one of the children. Whenever sickness occurs, they all turn to the boy or girl. The faith of a little child is the faith that sees God at work for us, bearing our burdens, providing for our necessities, living in His creation. A presence in everything, working for our good. To realize this is the acme of spiritual understanding. "No evil shall befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. He shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways." Being is becoming. That which is unmanifest is becoming manifest. And as it is perfect in being, it must also be perfect in becoming. If we will but recognize the truth of being and become fit channels for its expression. For we are individuals, and spirit can become for us only in the measure of our choice and channel. Ours it is to open or shut the door to spirit. This is not to be construed in any way as opposing the right use of affirmations. How we may assume the attitude of mind that will assure the most perfect expression of spirit in our bodies, affairs and states of consciousness, we shall study in succeeding chapters. Let us here open our thought to the influx of spirit as faith. I do rest in the calm assurance that all that the Father hath is mine. I know that beneath me are the girders of the Almighty, and underneath are the everlasting arms. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom or what shall I be afraid? My Father is greater than I. I will rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. I will look unto the hills, from whence cometh our help. My help cometh from the Lord, which makes heaven and earth. I do now answer the command of my soul. Come unto me, all ye that labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Father, I rest my case in thy hands, and now know, and thou wilt give me fully and freely this thing which I seek.